since nobody could create a proper fast food tier list that was accurate, I sat down and decided to make my own, which is now probably, actually, no, it's not probably, it is. It is the only accurate fast food tier list on the internet. So, I figured, why stop at that? Why don't we make a tier list of, like, the sit-down, casual restaurant chains as well, you know? So that's what we're doing today. First on the list is Applebee's. If you've ever been to Applebee's, or if you've ever had taste buds, you know that Applebee's is an easy F. Easy F. Like, there's so many of those restaurants that are like the same-ish, you know, like Chili's, Applebee's, Fridays. They're kind of all the same, you know. And out of all of those, Applebee's is definitely the worst. Cracker Barrel it's kind of its own thing. I honestly, I don't think there's any way that you could ever get a bad meal at Cracker Barrel, honestly. And, like, the whole atmosphere and vibe of the restaurant itself is just really cool. And they have that dope-ass gift shop filled with just all kinds of random shit. I honestly, I don't know if I could actually say anything bad about Cracker Barrel. I feel like I'm gonna put Cracker Barrel in the S category for the time being. Anyway, Chili's is like, it's better than Applebee's. I mean, honestly, I've never had anything bad at Chili's either, as far as I know. And they've got a pretty good, like, drink selection as well, which is, you know, nice. So I feel like Chili's. I'm gonna give Chili's a B for now. P.F. Chang's is like, it's like fancy Chinese food, I guess, but like everything you get at P.F. Chang's is expensive. It is way, way overpriced. And you don't get a lot of food for what you pay for. So it's like, it's not even worth eating there just for that fact alone. I don't recall ever eating anything necessarily bad from P.F. Chang's, but at the same time, I wouldn't fucking pay to eat there. No way, no how. And just because of that, I would give it a D. All right, now we got the first of, like, the steakhouse type restaurants. Longhorn is like, I feel like out of all of, like, the steakhouse chain restaurants, I feel like Longhorn is probably the most bland, boring, and just not all that fantastical. I really don't have much to say about Longhorn, in all honesty. It's just a steakhouse. So I'm gonna give that a D. All right, next we got Texas Roadhouse, which is another one of those steakhouse types of places. Out of all of the steaks that I've had at, like, all these different steakhouses, I would say that Texas Roadhouse is probably the best. It's one of those places where you get the bucket of peanuts and you just throw that shit on the ground. It's one of those as well. I mean, I'm not a steak person myself. It's not my jam. It's not normally what I prefer. But I would definitely give Texas Roadhouse probably the best when it comes to steaks. So I'm on the fan. You know what? Fuck it. I'll give Texas Roadhouse an A. If you're a steak person and you don't like spending shitloads of money, I would definitely pick Texas Roadhouse over the others. I don't know what to say about Denny's other than the fact that it's like, I feel like all of these restaurants, they have like a bunch of subcategories, you know? Denny's is one of those that falls into those, like, it's not great, but it's cheap and it's breakfast food. And out of all of those types of restaurants, I would definitely not give it the best rating, but it's definitely not the worst. Denny's is also one of those places where you go when you're really drunk. But I've never had, like, a Denny's close by to, you know, go to when drunk. So I'm gonna give Denny's just an E. I'm gonna give Denny's an E. Like, it's good, but it's not like, I mean, it's just breakfast. You go to your house and you can make the same breakfast for far less. Olive Garden, you know, fancy Italian food. In fact, I think that's probably the only Italian food thing that I added to this list. I mean, it's good. It's not incredibly awfully priced. I feel like most of the time you have to deal with like a waiter or waitress, and it's kind of like a douche, which is also it is kind of a problem. But dude, endless salad and breadstick. I could go there just for that. I feel like just on the breadsticks alone, I'm gonna give Olive Garden a B. There's nowhere else that can even come close to having the wonderful breadsticks that Olive Garden has. And you can get them forever. You could just go there and eat bread and salad and that's it. And you would save shitloads of money, and that, I mean, it's just the best part. Let's be real. All right, so we got Red Robin up next, which it's like a burgery place. They have really good fries. Their burgers are great. In fact, when it comes to those like sit-down restaurants, when you've got like Chili's, who has a lot of different burgers and whatnot as well. Red Robin's probably the best as far as like those chain casual burger eating places are. They've got really good onion rings as well. In fact, I think what we're gonna do, I'm gonna give Red Robin a B, and I'm gonna bump Chili's down to a C, because I feel like most of the time when it comes to Chili's, it's literally like I order the same thing like every time, and then just end up drinking a bunch of alcohol. So I don't know. I don't know if I should be rating Chili's too highly here. All right, next up is Golden Corral. Now, Golden Corral is a weird one because I feel like the quality of Golden Corral depends on the location that you go to. The one I had closest to home was easily the best one I've ever been to. I would like, when it comes to like food buffets, Golden Corral is easily the best. Like, no other place compares to the quality of Golden Corral. But at the same time, Golden Corral is incredibly expensive. It costs like $15 per person without drink. It's incredibly expensive. So I think just because of that, I'm going to not give it an S and just give it an A. It's basically the only reason. Shit is expensive. Unless you're eating like 10 plates of food, which I don't see that being a thing. It's not really worth it, honestly. All right, next, just because I felt like we needed some kind of pizza place on here since all the pizza restaurants were on the other tier list, I put CC's on here. Now, if you've ever been to CC's, it's a pizza buffet. It's like a $5 pizza buffet. It's like Little Caesars but buffet form, but somehow worse. I feel like the only redeeming quality that CC's has is their soup is good. Their pasta is good, and they have those like cinnamon rolls that are just phenomenal. But as far as their pizza goes, dog food. Easy dog food. 100%. Their pizza is awful. And it's probably the worst chain pizza that you could eat. It's just bad. The only thing, I would definitely move CC's up to just an F based on price because it's so cheap. But like, it's a pizza restaurant. It's a pizza restaurant, and the main thing that you sell is pizza. And if the main thing that you sell is bad, then there's a problem. I'm just saying. So, dog food it is. Hooters. what can you say about Hooters? Nobody goes to Hooters for the food. If you get me. If you catch my drift. And when it comes to wings, there's a few wings restaurants on this list as well. It's not the worst, but it's not great. It's not greatly priced either, and it's just, as I said, nobody goes to Hooters for the food. I'm just saying. I think I will put Hooters down in the C category with Chili's. It's passable. There's nothing fantastical about it. It's just all right, you know. Steak and Shake has phenomenal shakes. I mean, they're great. They have like such a large amount of shakes as well. They're fantastical, and the shake that they bring out is huge. Like, it is massive. It's like meant for 3 people. It's crazy. The fries are wonderful. They're kind of like McDonald's style fries, the smaller ones that are they're perfect. They're wonderful. Their burgers are like, they're not the best. I've eaten there like a few times, and no time have I ever eaten there and been like, this burger is amazing. It was just a burger, you know, simple burger. So I feel like I'm gonna throw that in the C category as well. It's just all right. Like, the way I see it is like, yeah, the shakes are amazing, the fries are amazing, but like the burger, like that's the main part of the meal. It's like CC's. Like, how do you not, like, you can't fuck that up. Just, you can't do that. It's just not okay. All right, now we got another one that's in the similar category to Denny's. Village Inn, you know, it's a sit-down, breakfasty style place, but also has, you know, lunch and stuff like burgers and whatnot. It's a tough one. I feel like Village Inn is probably, it's another one of those that kind of just depends on the location, but I would say personally, in all of those style of restaurants, Village Inn is probably the best. The food is good. They have like a large selection of different shit from, you know, breakfast to lunch and dinner and all that. And they're priced pretty well. I mean, I think I could give Village Inn an easy A. Real talk. I'm gonna just throw that right in the A category. Waffle House, like, it's the worst. I'm just straightforward. It is the worst of all of those, like, sit down, eat breakfasty types of restaurants. Absolutely the worst. Their food is, it's dog food, like, straight up. It is dog food, quality food. Is what it is. It's always like the people that work there are always the grungiest, nastiest, like grossest, like people. The only time like you go there is when you're drunk at like 3 in the morning because it's the only place that's open. And when you're drunk, you don't give a shit what the food tastes like. If it's food, it is food. They could fry up a big old fat cow turd and throw it between a bun, and you would eat it and wouldn't care. So the only redeeming quality Waffle House has is that it's open 24 hours and you can eat it when drunk, and it makes it not the worst thing ever. So I'm gonna put that in the edible if drunk category. Slightly above dog food. In fact, it is dog food, but just because it's open 24 hours, we're gonna put it in the edible drunk if drunk category. All right, Western Sizzlin'. Now this one might be, I don't know how big of a chain this is. I know it is like a chain. I've seen it in many places, but it may not be one that a lot of people are familiar with. It's like, it's weird because it's like Golden Corral. It's like a shittier Golden Corral, but it's also like a steakhouse type of thing. As far as I'm concerned, any of their food that you order like off of the menu is overpriced and it's just rubber. It's not very good at all. Their buffet is nowhere near as good as Golden Corral's. It is passable and it's not very expensive. So, just because of that, I think I could give Western Sizzlin' a D. A D, just because the buffet is cheap, it's decent, and yeah. Next up is IHOP. IHOP is another one of those breakfasty type sit-down restaurants, and I don't understand. All right, I feel like there's a lot of shit that's always thrown at IHOP for some reason. Like, I do not understand why everybody hates IHOP as much as they do. I've never had any problem with IHOP. Their food is all right. It's not the best priced food, and I definitely wouldn't give it as high of a rating as Village Inn. And it's also another one of those places that's open, you know, like forever. I don't think it's open 24 hours. Some of them might be, but it's also a good food to eat when drunk. So I think overall, I'm gonna give it a C. It's not as good as Village Inn. Still good. It's better than Denny's, and it's open late for consumption while drunk. The only thing the prices I think at IHOP are not really ideal. I think some of their shit is too expensive. Yeah. All right, Wingstop. If you are a human that lives on planet Earth, you know that Wingstop, the only possible place that Wingstop could belong is dog food. I had Wingstop one time. If you've ever eaten a Buffalo Wild Wings and gotten Parmesan garlic wings, you know that shit is amazing. It's amazing. It's probably one of the best things they have. So after like having that, I remember we went to Wingstop one time and ordered the Parmesan garlic wings. They bring out these fucking wings that are just coated in butter, some kind of butter, and just sprinkled with Parmesan cheese out of a shaker can. I've never seen something so depressing in a fucking like basket in my entire life. Never again will I ever eat there. Dog food. All right, Red Lobster. Red Lobster is seafood. It's expensive. The main thing that I would ever eat at Red Lobster is the damn cheddar biscuits. And I don't know. Like, their seafood is always expensive. It's not really my jam. The last time I went to Red Lobster was probably like 3-4 years ago. During like the unlimited shrimp thing, and I definitely don't recommend doing that because it is expensive and you will eat until you want to die. So, definitely not recommended. I don't know. I'm gonna give it a C because it's just like, it's all right. Seafood, so it's expensive. Cheddar's. All right, Cheddar's is. I feel like it's. If I were to say like a style of restaurant that Cheddar's is, I would say it's like a Chili's except better in every way. Every Cheddar's I've been to is like really fancy. Like the decor is nice. It's a good looking place. They have a really good selection of just all kinds of random stuff on the menu. And their alcohol selection is amazing. They have a drink called the Painkiller that is wonderful. You're only allowed to have 2. They will only allow you to have 2 because I guess the alcohol content is so high in those. And if you ever had one, you know that there's no alcohol taste to them at all. They're amazing. If they didn't put that lemon on there, I would go to Cheddar's alone just to drink myself into a coma off of those. But you've got that combined with like everything food-wise being amazing. Price-wise, I feel like it's about average in what this kind of place is. It's not cheap. It's not like ridiculously expensive. But all in all, I think Cheddar's is S tier. I've never been to a Cheddar's that was like bad. They've all been like atmospherically really nice, and it's just a good place. Seriously, if you've got a Cheddar's nearby, go eat there. It's amazing. All right, next up is Buffalo Wild Wings. When you compare it to Wingstop and Hooters, it's obviously the best. And if you think differently, well, then you're fucking wrong. Wild Wings, I mean, they have all kinds of shit that's just not just wings. I mean, every time I go there, I obviously get wings. They've got a nice beer selection as well. They got like a separate bar and all that. The main problem I've always had with Buffalo Wild Wings, it's one of those places where a bunch of assholes gather together and watch sports ball on the 512 TVs they've got in the lobby, which is annoying. It makes it, I don't know, it kind of ruins the experience a little bit. But other than that, like, their prices aren't terrible. They're not great, but they're all right. Food is pretty good. Their fries are wonderful. Just saying, wonderful fries. They've also got those, McDonald's style-y fries, But yeah. So I'm gonna give Wild Wings a B. I would give it an A if it wasn't for the fact that like going there, I just feel like sucks because of the atmosphere of all the assholes watching sports ball and the big ass TVs just sprinkled literally everywhere. There is not an empty space of wall in that restaurant because of all of the TVs. It is insanity. All right, next we got Logan's Roadhouse, which is another steakhouse style of place. Logan's is like, it always like every Logan's I've ever seen never has any customers ever. I don't know what it is. I've eaten there like one time. And, it's another one of those places you get the bucket of fucking peanuts, you just throw on the ground. And it was all right as far as steaks go. But, I don't know, it's just like, there's nothing special about it at all. Like, it is literally just like a copy of that style of restaurant. There's so many of them, and I feel like there's so many of them that are better. So, I'm gonna give it a C, I guess. I don't know. I don't really have to rate that one because I've only eaten there once. But said food was all right. It was kind of pricey, but it was steak, of course. And it's just like a copycat restaurant. This is what it is. Hey, so I think I don't know. I must have been like smoking some crack while I was recording this. And for some reason I gave Logan's Roadhouse a C. And I don't know why. Don't know why. It's definitely an E. I would definitely put it in the Denny's section, maybe even the F section with Applebee's. Not quite sure what I was thinking, but yeah, continue watching. All right, Outback, another steakhouse. I don't think I've ever actually eaten steak from Outback. I've always had like a burger or whatever else. I mean, like the atmosphere of it's all right. I feel like it's for me like I feel like it's less of a steakhouse and more of like a Chili's or a Fridays or a that style of restaurant, at least in my eyes. I don't know. I might be crazy, but I don't know. The food's all right. It's all right. I can give that a B. I'll put that up there. I do think quality-wise, it's probably better than Chili's. And as far as steak goes, as I said, I don't think I've ever had a steak there. But I definitely enjoyed being at Outback more than I've enjoyed being at Logan's. And Texas Roadhouse, I still will say, is the best steak I've ever had at a chain. So, yeah. All right, next we got Cheesecake Factory. Actually, you know what? I don't think I've ever actually eaten Cheesecake Factory. So I'm going to skip that. All right, and last up on the list, we've got Fridays. Now, Fridays, Fridays and like Chili's, I feel like are like clones of each other. Chili's, Fridays, and Applebee's. They're all just like clones of each other. But they do, like, they're just like tiers above each other, I feel. Fridays, food-wise, I do think I prefer Fridays food over Chili's. And the fact that Fridays, they have like a nice alcohol selection like Chili's and other restaurants similar to this. But like Fridays had, I don't know if they still do, but they had the best like happy hour type thing. You go after like 8 p.m. or whatever, and you get like half off like all like well, not all, but like most alcohols and appetizers. So we would just go all of the time and just drink and eat appetizers and then leave. It was great. And like their other food items are good as well. I would definitely give Fridays an A. I like it more than Chili's. I like it more than Outback. Definitely like it more than Applebee's. Applebee's, I'm still half tempted to throw it in the dog food category, but nevertheless, it's definitely better than CC's and Wingstop. But there you go. That is my casual dining tier list. I definitely like Cracker Barrel and Cheddar's. I don't think there's not many restaurants that have that quality. You know, they've got the good food quality, the decent prices, and they've got just the atmosphere of the whole like restaurant is just really nice. And don't forget, CC's and Wingstop is dog food. And if you think differently, then you're fucking wrong. So, yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Well, that's the end of the video. Thank you guys for checking it out. If you want to check out more videos, you could click on this one. Or you could check out this video. And if you want to be really awesome, you should click this down below, sub to the channel, and be sure to follow my stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/Daware. I stream every single weekday starting 6 p.m. Central Time. So, I'll see you guys later.